Today we are going to learn about the large language model. So what is the large language model and how to connect to the large language model? There are three things that I'm going to explain to you today. We are first looking at the hugging face. So what is hugging face and how we can deal with the hugging face. And then the next, I will let you know how to deal with the olama. Okay. So I think some of you already did this one, but some of you have not learned this one. So I'm just giving you the basic one, how to install this one and how to run in the Fast API. And then the last one, let's do something very simple with the RAG, or we call it the Retrieval Augmented Generation, and how it works in the Fast API. First is Hugging Face. If you know the generative AI, so the generative AI is now in the world, it is popular to use any generative AI such as ChatGPT or Gemini or the Copilot. And there are so many things like cloud and other things. We use this one, we call it this is the generative AI because when we ask something, they can answer based on our inquiry. Now, the issue is we call this is the large language model. And sometimes we say this is the foundation model. Foundation models means something that has been trained on text. You have the data on the text, and then you train those on the text data. The large machine learning models that learn the probability of words being used in certain contexts. So if you have this text, for example, the weather has been cloudy for the last 2 days. Most likely it will be, what is the probability here? Is it cloudy? Or is it sunny? Or is it rain? So if you look at the problem here, the weather has been cloudy for the last 2 days. So there is a high possibility, maybe tomorrow it will be rainy. But there's also a possibility that tomorrow will be cloudy again. Maybe the probability of sunny is the lowest one because it has been cloudy for the last 2 days. Maybe this is number one, this is number two, yeah, this is number three, based on the probability. So how do we know about this one? Because we already have the knowledge. But if the computer needs to answer this problem, how the computers know? So the computers or the foundation models need to analyze in many texts. So they have the training tests. Learn to predict the missing word in the text sequence. So the foundation models, they learn a lot from many texts, or sometimes we call it the large language models. So the large language model is a part of the foundation model. So in the foundation models, there are many kind of models, not only LLM, but now we have the vision language model. You can use picture to represent the language. Or we have also another kind of sensor language model. So you can use the sensor data and combine with the language. So there are many things of the language model these days, and it is based on the foundation model. If we learn about the machine learning, actually, we only learn about one part of the model. Let's say I am going to generate a text, then you need to have a particular model. I want to make a summary. Then you will do a modeling and then use this model for information. Extract the information. So I'm going to create a model and then you do the information extraction. So each model will have its own task. But when you do with the foundation model, it means you have only one model and one model can be used for many tasks. So sometimes we call this is the multiple tasks. So in a multiple task means I'm going to do one modeling and then using this one model, I can do any task. I can do many tasks. And usually the data has no label. But if you do the modeling, you have the label. So that's why in the foundation model, we usually use the word like the generative AI. The generative AI means I have no label, I have no target data, but I can do something. I can do the text generation, I can do the summarization, I can do the information extraction, I can do Q&A, and I can do the chatbot and etc. Okay. Sometimes we call this is the pre-train. So you use any pre-trained data or pre-trained model, and then the pre-trained model will be adopted to any task that you want to use. So there are many kind of open source. So if you have any plan to develop any LLM, so you can refer to this site. Okay. So those are the open source, but of course, this open source has some limitation. If you want to have the full functions for some functions or for some tools, you need to pay some money. Okay. For example, if you want to use the Gemini, then it seems that you can do with the free version with limitation. If you want to have the full version, yeah, you need to pay some money. Today we are going to use the Olama. Okay. So let's look at the code on the Olama and how can we create the LLM. So before we learn about the Olama, actually we have another option. So we can use the Hugging Face. Hugging Face is one of the AI community for various tasks. It is free when you sign up, but if you use any models from the Hugging Face, yeah, you need to check which model is free and which model that you need to pay. So if you pay some money to the Hugging Face, you can use some models based on the payment. So they have the pricing. And I think today, let's just try with the free version. Okay. So for the Hugging Face, you need to register and then you can create the new token and then select the proper choices and then copy the token. Okay. So now let's do it. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't put the link. So let's go to the Hugging Face. Yeah. So Hugging Face, yeah, they mentioned this is the AI community. So you can see this is the first page of the Hugging Face. If you don't have any ID, so you can do the sign up. So you can sign up with your address and then your password. So in my case, I already have my ID. when you log in into this environment, so there are many kind of uh, models that you can see. For example, if you click on this model, then you can look at the model from ByteDance, Nemo Station, Meituan, Longcat, and etc. And those models are something that you can use. For example, if you click this lens from the ByteDance, they claim this is any to any. So you can also look at the uh, result, and then you can try to use this model into your environment. And then if you want to look at some data set, let's say you don't have any data set for your experiment, then you can check this data set. Let's say this is the structure Wikipedia. So they share this data set, and then you can use this data set for your research or for your project. So there are some function, and also you can use this as your experiment. Let's say you want to contribute to some of the activities that they have already shared. So here, they have the activities like the, I think this is about the generation, the video generation. So if you have the image, and then you can do something about the video creation and etc. So you can check by yourself later. And for today's class, we need to create token. So the token means whenever you want to connect to the model, then you need to connect to your own ID. So I give you the information here. So in order to connect to any tools on the Hugging Face, you need to get the access tokens. So in your profile, you can go to the access tokens and create the new tokens. So in my case, the profile is here. So in the top of the right button, when I click this one, then I can get the access token. So you can see here the access token. So in the top of your profile, you can click, and then you can see the access token. So when you click on the access token, then you will have this create new token button. So in the create new token button, it means that you can do the new token creation. Let's say I'm going to create a new token. So those token is created for you, and then you can have the access. For example, fine grain. Fine grain means you can access until the details, or you can only read. So if you need only to read some particular model, then you can do only read. Or if you want to write, so it means you want to access some model and then you want to contribute to change the model, then you can do the write. But now I do not want to write, so just focus on the read. You can also use the fine grain. So you can read, you can write, you can do fine grain. For the fine grain means you can select what you want to use. So for example, I want to access the repository, or I want to make inference. I want to access the webhook data. So it means you want to access the data set. So I have a collection. It means I want to access any collection from the Hugging Face. You want to discuss and post something. So it means you can do the contribution in the community. Billing, so you can pay some money into your credit card, for example, and other things. Okay, so it's up to you what kind of token do you want to create. Okay. So if you want to create the fine grain, then you can just mention the token name, for example, for ISD. Then yeah, you can do the create token. So if you do not have any other inquiry, you can just do the read. Okay, that's enough, and then you can do the create token. So for me, I do not want to create any other token because I already have some tokens here. Okay. So I have the read, and the fine grain. Okay. So in the fine grain means I can also write, I can also read. If I just need to read, then I have only the read permission. So I have this one, maybe. So let me refresh. So if you already create the token, you will see a kind of ID. So we call this is the token. They mentioned that save your tokens value somewhere safe. You will not be able to see it again after you close the model. If you lose it, then you have to create a new one. So sometimes we need to copy this one. Okay. So once you copy, then maybe you can make a kind of file, notepad. Yeah, let's say I'm creating the notepad. And then let me just put here. Okay, so this is my token. So after I have my token, now let's create project. Okay, let's create a new project. For this project, let's create the fast API LLM. Okay. I will do the pure Python. Okay. So for the project, I will have the min.py. It is the min, and then I will create .env. Okay, so what is env? I will give you the example later. And then in folder templates, we are going to make one file, which is chatbot. Oh, maybe this one. Okay, chatbot1.html. Okay, first, let's create .env. So this .env, it is to put the token from your Hugging Face. So you need to create a file. In the PyCharm, you can create a new file, and this file name, you can put the name .env. Okay, you can create a new file .env, and it will show you one new file here, .env. After you have this file, so you can put the Hugging Face token. So in the PowerPoint, I give you the HF token. Okay, you can make this HF token and then put your token here. So I have my token, and I will put this token. Oh, I will put this token here. Okay. Now you can use your own ID later based on this token. Next, after you have this token, you can do the fast API as we did usually. Okay. So let me just copy and paste for now, and then I will give you the explanation after it. So there are 4 pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So there are 4 pages. So please copy and paste all the codes into your environment. The first is the header. Oh, there is some errors. I guess this is about the function. Yeah, you need to install the python.environment. And then also we need to install the request. Why there are some, yeah. Okay, anyway. So after this is the page number 2, this is the page number 3. And then this is the page number 4. And then the last one, this is the page number 5. Okay. I will explain this code a little bit later. And the last part, we need to create the chatbot 1.html in the folder templates. So I will make a new folder templates. I will make the directory templates. And then I will make the file HTML chatbot1. Then I will copy and paste. There are also 4 pages. Oh, there are 3 pages. So I'm using the bootstrap. And then I'm going to create the page number 2. It is to get the chatbot. And then let's go to the page number 3. Okay, let's do first. Let's run the code first, and then I will explain to you the code line by line. Okay, oh, stupid. So it is the chatbot panel. So I'm going to do any chatbot with the Hugging Face environment. What do you want to ask? Let's say plan a trip to Seoul on weekend. Okay. So I'm asking the model to give me any answer about the trip. Okay. So sure, I'd be happy to help you plan a trip to Seoul for a weekend. Here a suggested itinerary that includes some of the most popular attractions and activities. Saturday, start your day with a visit to Namsan Tower for a great view of Seoul. Walk around Gangnam District and enjoy shopping at Yongsanin Shopping Mall and so on. Okay, so this is a very simple way to ask to the Hugging Face environment. So let's say I want to ask again. Recommend me a coffee shop, a cozy coffee shop at Gangnam, for example. Note that this is when you connect to the Hugging Face, you have only a few tokens. Okay. So one highly recommended coffee shop in Gangnam is Bistro de Belfort. Okay, I don't know. So it's located in the 7th floor. Okay, maybe you can check. Okay. So this is the answer from the Hugging Face. Now let's check the details. Let's check from the main.py. I think this is the common way to get the library. And now we need to use the load.env. It means I want to load the environment. I want to load the environment that I already created before, where I wrote the Hugging Face token. So app is the new app from the FS API, and then I'm using the Jinja. Here, I'm going to get the environment from the Hugging Face. Now, the model, you can use this one. So actually there are a lot of models, but now let me just use the simple one. This the Qwen. Qwen is the model from China. It is also free. And there are some models. Maybe you can use the big model, like the 7 billion parameters. You can also use the smallest one if your computer is not that high in the specification. But yeah, because this is located in the Hugging Face, so you can just connect it. And then for the home, so you can connect to the chatbot one.html. If you choose to chat, okay, so it means when you click the chat, there will be some form that you need to access. So we need to know what are the messages that you already include. And then the JSON will load the history. So the history means those are the text that will be included into a list. So the messages, it will append the role. So now you are a user. And then what are the content messages? So in this case, this is the user message, the one that I input. When you access to the Hugging Face, first you need to have the authorization. So the authorization means you need to send the token to the Hugging Face, and the token will be in the JSON file. And after you set token, you need to set what are the payloads that you want to use. So payload means something that you need to access on the model. The model, what is the model? So I'm going to access the model name. The model name I use Qwen. So you can set up the model name based on your interests or based what you need to do with the LLM. And then the messages. So the messages, it will be from the history. So let's say if you have any chat before, yeah, like this one, yeah, you will try to look at this history. And then maximum tokens. It means one token. Let's assume one token, it is equal to one word. Because sometimes, if you look at this one, yeah, the dash also refers to one token. Okay. This column, this also refers to one token. This also refers to one token. Then in this case, the maximum token is 500. So as I mentioned to you in the Hugging Face, when you register for the first time, and then if you use the free tier, as far as I know, you have the token limitation. So the token is limited. I'm not sure how many tokens that you can use for one day, but yeah, you cannot use for many tokens. That's why when you use, let's say you want to use this LLM in your final project, in your team project, then I think it's better to do the maximum token. If you do not do the maximum token, if you exceed the token limitation, so you cannot access in your Hugging Face in that day. And then the other thing is about the temperature. The temperature, it is not the weather temperature, but this is the temperature for the LLM. Usually they have the number between 0 until 1. The low temperature, 0 until maybe 0.3. If the temperature is low, so the answer will be fixed, or we call it the deterministic. So the answer will be always fixed, or it will be always the same between you and me. But if the temperature is high, so let's say the temperature is 0.7 until 1, usually it is random. Okay. So they can give you anything. They can suggest you any kind of answers. Let's say if you ask about coffee shop, so the 0.7 means the randomness is high. Yeah, it depends whether you want to have more random or you want to have more deterministic answer. And then the response will be from the Hugging Face. And then you will give the header, and then you will check the payload, and then check the status. If the status is not 200, then you will have the status code minus the response text. So it means it is error. So if the status is 200, 200 means success. If the response is 200, then you will get the response, and then you will choose the best one from the options. And then now you need to append into the message the role assistant. It means the Hugging Face or the model or the chatbot is the assistant, and the content will be the answer, or the answer from the Hugging Face. And then at the end, you can just connect to the chatbot and then let the messages that you already got, and show it into the HTML file. If you go to the HTML file, first, I'm going to connect to the Bootstrap, and then the body, and then div. This is the title, the Fast API Hugging Face chatbot. If you know the messages, so I'm going to do the loop. So loop means I'm going to check what are the messages. If the role is user, then show the content, the message content based on the user questions. Else, show the content not based on the role user, based on the role assistant. And then you can end the for loop. So the last section is about the chat. The chat means whenever you click the send button, it means it will go to the /chat. The /chat is this one. So it means you want to connect to the Hugging Face. So the input is a user message with the form control, and then you need to type something, and then the input will be messages, and it will be to JSON. So you will transform this into messages, and the form will be JSON. So I guess if you still remember this template, okay, this is the template for string in the base template. And then just click the send in order to run this form. Then finish. So this is the chatbot. Yeah, you can ask more. Maybe I just want to give the question until this part, because if it is too many, maybe it will stop, because I use a lot of the Hugging Face these days. Okay. Okay, this is the explanation of the code, and you can find any other model. Okay, not only the Q1. Q1 is one of the model that you can use. You can use the Llama 3, or you can use the Mistral. You can use Gamma, Pi, DeepSeek, or small LM. So those are free models from the Hugging Face. But you need to check what are the parameters that you want to look at, because in this case, this is a 7 billion. So Llama, they have another parameters. Mistral, Gamma, and etc. They have their own parameters. And yeah, this is actually, I try to check the whether the size is light or not. The size is medium, and then it is good for general chatbot. It is good for reasoning. So Gamma is very light. Pi is very light. Small LM is also very light. But the DeepSeek is heavy. Q1 is quite heavy, it's medium, and then the Mistral is also medium. So depending on your purpose, so please check what are the model that can be used in your project. Okay. Okay, the next thing, before you take a break, so let's install this Olama if you want to install it. So I have no Olama in my computer. Let's uh, let's click on the Olama on your Chrome, and then once you know this is the Olama. Olama is the easiest way to automate your work using the open models while keeping your data safe. It means you can make the local model. You can make it into your computer. You can make it into your laptop. Okay. But I checked, the size is quite big. Okay. So if your laptop is okay, yeah, you can install it. But if your laptop is limited, maybe you can just use the Hugging Face. Okay. So you can download, and then they have the options. If your OS is Mac, yeah, you can download with the Mac OS. If your computer is using Linux, you can download with the Linux version. Because this computer is Windows, so I'm going to download the Windows version. Because it takes sometimes, so please download it, and then please install it during the break time. So after the break time, we will do this Olama. Or if you want to just use the Hugging Face, you can skip this one. So I will let you know how to run this one in your computer. And because this is personal or local data or the local server, so you don't need to worry about your privacy. Okay, I will stop here. Let's have a break. I will continue after the break.